Hello everyone, Kitty Foster, your storytelling astrologist, reader of the stars for July 24th and July 25th. Beautiful day here in Maine, beautiful breeze. I wish you all happy spaces. It's very interesting energy we've been experiencing in July, plot twists and turns we've talked about, and you're all feeling it, especially if you're watching this video, that there is something emerging, something that's different. Mercury is not spending 85 days in the sign of Leo for us not to learn to communicate, not to learn to understand who we are, our passions, and we are remembering who we are. That's a common thought, a common conversation that's happening a lot on many different apps. So let's talk today about the stars. I'm really drawn to today the fact that the moon is in an opposition with Pluto, and that will continue through tomorrow. And that's about relinquishing a lot attachments, deep changes, letting go of that human manager, that's what I call the ego, and feeling that there are regime changes. There's an understanding that this old guard is falling apart, which is why we're seeing such an escalation of people trying to hold on. Again, there's this message somehow that's been part of our humanness that the answers are outside us, when indeed we're all created equally, and we have that same spark that is part of source, God, universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it. It is important to understand too where your language comes from, some of the words that you are using that have additional meanings in their translation. They're literally part of that approach to try to teach people to depend on something that is outside of themselves. So let's talk about today. So that Cancer moon moved void of course, and the moon moved into Leo. Today is a new moon. A new moon is all about our asking for what it is that we need and tuning into that. Some people call it manifestation. It's really about attraction and then stepping into the consciousness and seeing that it is already yours. That new moon in Leo is at 3:11 p.m. and that means that the moon and the sun are in the same energy. Now this is the moon of the sun, and so this is about how we take our inner energy and move forward. And that sun is trine our Saturn and Neptune energy, as well as the moon is trying our Saturn and Neptune energy. This is a new structure, a new understanding, a new cycle of who we are, what we're building, and it's with spirit, a new cycle of spirit. So this is a new embodiment of spirit. That's why there's so much about awakening, that what we're tapping into. We are remembering and creating that reality that we have always had, but have been kind of trained to look outside of ourselves. Additionally, today that moon is acting you to activate this awakening because it's in a sextile with our Uranus energy, which is in Gemini. And that's a technology. Gemini energy, which is all about how we think, how we experience things, and Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarian, that visionary, revolutionary energy, working together is looking and tapping into our body's technology. This is not about, this is a sacredness in why we have this physical manifestation. Here we are in the new moon. So really be thinking about what is changing from the inside out, especially with all of these like Mercury retrogrades. So this regime changes has so much to do with our understanding and tapping into our own sacred spark, talking about talking about even languages and words that we've come to use that may not even be what we think they are. So pay attention to that. This manifestation is all about the sun, because this is all in Leo. The sun that knows how we move forward and sees us, and in that seeing us awakens something. So the sun and the moon both today are working in the background, aligning and being seen with the secret places in our soul, especially today. We need to have been seen, to be seen, and to discover ourselves, what we've hidden to see. This is the new moon where we give gratitude for where we are and call out to the universe to attract, to develop, a new consciousness in that attraction. Some people call it manifestation, but I do believe it's much more about the consciousness. It's more than manifestation. It's alignment with the deeper understandings. And I'm coming to understand that even understandings have their own sentience, their own beingness. Many of us are talking about the need and the time to understand who we are and what we are becoming and our place in this collective. We're going to be able to practice that and call that forth and experience that consciousness. The divine, which is really about, I just saw a definition that it is about detaching in the godliness, but that's not about forgetting our humanness. So it's about how do we take the divine and the sacred and merge them. So I'm going to go to tomorrow's as well because some alignment has allowed a lot of my family to be visiting, not of my planning. So, and I'm really happy about that. And again, as I step into the consciousness, those are the things the universe will bring forward. We continue, though, that regime change energy right through tomorrow in its opposition, and this is a deep changing revolutionary energy as the moon now moves conjunct with Mercury. Mercury that is retrograde tomorrow in a private energy emerging for us. Now, earlier this week, we had some alignment with our value, some discernment around where to put our will, and that's going to be put into practice tomorrow as we watch and observe this Mercury asking us to now experience what we put out for our attraction on that new moon and watch what unfolds from an observation point. We've developed some of these new discernments around the value, and as we use that in this activation, observation, synchronization, whatever shows up for you, we understand we have awoken an understanding, a new sentience for ourselves. And tomorrow, the 25th, has an interesting piece because of Sirius in the sky for its kind of letting go of all time tomorrow. Things are amazingly aligned, so tap in and see what shows up for you on the 25th. Write down your reflections, what's happened, and record it somewhere to come back and visit this new consciousness that got kicked off in this manifestation. Release, recover, rejuvenate. Ready, set, go. And remember, you are the person your soul sees you as being. I'll be back on the 26th. Namaste.